Several years ago, I read a book by Tim Hansel called You Gotta Keep Dancing. And it was really about his struggle with chronic pain. And in it, he said that pain and suffering are the common denominators of the human experience. And I think that is so true. Pain is often what binds us together and allows us to realize that all of us in our humanity are going to deal with sufferings and loss and wounds and pain in this life. And when it comes to our faith in God, we have to understand, how do we make sense of that? How do we process that? God told us that in this world we will have trouble. I think sometimes we get mad at God when He allows hard things to happen to us or painful things. But remember, God never promised that it would be anything otherwise. He says you're going to have ordeals, you're going to have trials, there will be pains. So we can't hold God to promises He's never made. There will be moments in life when we suffer, but when we do, this is where Paul encourages us. He writes this letter to the Corinthian church, and in the second letter of the first chapter, he says, "Praise be to the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of compassion and the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our troubles, so that we can be comforted, and we can comfort those in any trouble with the comfort we ourselves received from God." So the beauty of that passage is the assurance that when you and I are struggling, when we're in pain, when we're wounded, that God will comfort us, that God comforts us most often by His presence. And I don't know about you, but that's so often what I yearn for when I'm hurting. You know, when we have a situation in our church's life where there's someone in need, they've had surgery or they've lost a loved one, one of the first things that happens is someone goes to be with them. It is the presence of another that comforts them. And that's what is so prevalent about this text. The power of the text is God says, when you're hurting and when you suffer, I will come and I will be with you to comfort you. And when we know that the presence of the living God dwells with us, is in us, working through us, and oftentimes that is borne witness to by the people who are around us, when we sense that presence, that gives us so much hope and so much comfort. I know that when I was a little boy and I would have a bad dream in the middle of the night, I would cry out for my parents, and they would come into my room, and it really wasn't that anything so much had changed, but just their presence on the edge of my bed made things so much better for me. I was comforted, and that's the promise of our faith. When you and I hurt, and when there are pains in this life, He comforts us. But then it gets even better, because God assures us that our pain is never going to be wasted, that our pain is going to be redeemed by God, because He's going to give us the opportunity to comfort others with the comfort that He's given us.